This $40 oil change can prevent a $4,000 engine repair. And most compact tractor owners don't realize how much damage old oil can actually do inside the engine. Today I'm changing the engine oil on my Kubota BX2360, and I'm also going to show you what oil breakdown and moisture contamination really do inside your engine. If you want your tractor to last 20 years, this matters. But before I grab a wrench, let me explain what's actually happening inside the engine when oil starts to degrade. This tractor has a small diesel engine. Diesel engines run higher compression and produce soot as part of normal combustion. Because of that, they require diesel-rated oil, not standard automotive gasoline oil. So when choosing your oil, look for a diesel rating, like scratched off, CK4 or CJ4 on the bottle. That tells you it has the additive package designed to handle soot, contamination, and higher operating pressures. I run 15W40 in my Kubota engine year-round, summer and winter. And the manual says that is just fine. That's what they recommend, actually. But consult your manual for your particular tractor. Diesel oils also contain higher detergent levels, and those detergents help suspend contaminants so that they can be removed during the next oil change instead of settling inside the engine. This is old oil from a previous oil change. See how dark it is? See how it's sticking to the jar? It's soot and all kinds of other junk in there. And this is the new oil I'm about ready to put in it. Nice and clean. Oil doesn't just get dirty, it actually breaks down. Every time this engine heats up and cools down, the oil goes through thermal cycles. Over time, those cycles weaken its viscosity and its ability to lubricate properly. And the additives inside the oil, the detergents, anti-wear agents, corrosion inhibitors, they get used up. Those additives are depleted. The oil can no longer protect internal components the way they were designed to. And when that happens, you start getting increased metal-to-metal contact. Bearings, cam surfaces, piston rings, all of those components begin to wear faster. That wear is permanent. Oil is cheap, internal engine parts are not. Another issue that's especially common on compact tractors is moisture contamination. If you start the tractor, run it for a few minutes and shut it off, especially in cooler weather, condensation forms inside the crankcase. That moisture mixes with the oil. When oil and water combine, they create an acidic environment inside the engine. And that acidity can promote corrosion on internal metal surfaces like the bearings, the journals. Moisture also reduces the oil's lubricating strength and can create a milky emulsified mixture that doesn't protect components properly. Repeated short-run cycles are actually harder on oil than longer operating periods where the engine fully warms up and then evaporates the moisture. First, let's go over a few common mistakes. First, overfilling. More oil is not better. Too much oil can lead to foaming and increased crankcase pressure and even leaks. Always check the oil level after letting the engine run and then letting the oil settle. Second, make sure the old filter gasket comes off with the old filter. A double gasket will leak, and usually after you think your job is done. Third, drain the oil warm, not cold. Warm oil drains faster and carries more of the contaminants out with it. And finally, don't ignore your hour meter. These tractors don't calculate oil life electronically. The hour meter is your reminder. All right, let's change the oil. I've already warmed the engine up, so let's get started. All right, your oil pan's towards the front of the tractor. Underneath, right here, the oil pan should be warm, not hot. This is a 14 millimeter socket. There you go. See how it's draining? I'll go up and loosen the cap, and that'll drain a lot better. While you're down here, there is I think they call it a crunch washer on here. Make sure that's still on there. All right. Looks like it's about draining. I'll give it a little bit more time here. I do want to mention this before I forget. Another mistake is over tightening this. That's not a real thick metal, and you can strip out the threads. Make contact and then just firm it up a little bit, and that crunch washer will do the rest. Now before you install the drain plug, you're going to need one of these filter wrenches. It attaches to a socket. I'll turn counterclockwise. Some oil will come out of that as well, so have a pan under there. I want to loosen it. Once you've got it loose enough to turn with your hands, drain your filter into your pan, and then make sure the old gasket's on there. And it is. It's that rubber gasket right there. But make sure that's on there and not up there. There's where the filter's going. And I'm letting the oil drip and drain out of that. And then I'm going to wipe that carefully with a clean cloth. Reinstall the new filter. All right. Wipe that down good. Make sure there's a little thin seal of oil on your new gasket. Just put some new oil along that rubber gasket. And you're ready to install it. Make it finger tight. That's probably close to half a turn. That's about what you want. Half to 3/4. That's plenty snug. Now we're ready to reinstall the drain plug. Clean your plug off. Snug it up with your fingers. Remember, don't over tighten. Just snug it up. All right, that's good enough. So your dipstick is here. I also clean it. Already done that. Make sure that's in. And I also cleaned the where you put the oil in. No sense changing your oil if you're getting a lot of dirt in here, and there usually is. I've cleaned this already, but you want that clean. Set that aside. Now you're just going to need a funnel and about 3 to 3.3 quarts. That was 3/4. This was not full. So I'm going to reinstall the fill plug. We'll start the engine, let it run a little bit, maybe a couple minutes. Then I'm going to shut it off, let it settle for another 5 minutes, and we're going to check the oil level. While that was running, I was looking for any leaks around the plug, around the filter. So I ran it for 2 or 3 minutes, and then shut it off, let it sit for 5 minutes so the engine oil would settle. We want to check the dipstick. It takes a little, usually takes a little bit over 3/4. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but we're just shy of the top mark. And like I say, we don't want to overfill it. I'm not going to add any more oil because 3/4 seem to have done the trick. I'll check it after I've run it for a little bit, and I'd recommend you do the same thing. Just check your dipstick, see where your level's at. Don't overfill, but don't underfill either. I should point out that the correct dipstick, or the correct level, wow, it's hard to show that on here. I think you can see this opening right here. See that opening? That's full. Don't go beyond that. This is really the only tools you're going to need. To remove the drain plug, you will need a 14 millimeter socket. You don't need that extension to do that, but to remove the air filter, to remove the oil filter, you need at least 8 or 10 inch extension. This is to remove the oil filter as well. I'll leave links to the description, links to these in the description below. And a few rags, and of course some drain pans, oil pans. So at least I'd go a 4/4 or more. Just want to point that out. There's the dirty oil, obviously. How all the oil with all the contaminants kind of cling into the jar. This had the new oil in it. This one right here, and you can see, you don't see all that junk. These engines are incredibly durable, but only if you protect them. Clean oil is what stands between normal wear and expensive damage. If you take care of your Kubota, it will outlast you. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing for more Kubota BX2360 maintenance and repair videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.